U.S. Deputy Secretary of State William Burns said at a news conference in Cairo on June 29 that an investigation of the violent clashes between the police and protesters must be fair and thorough, and that the country's political transition should move in a peaceful way. Police fired tear gas at hundreds of stone-throwing Egyptian youth near Tahrir Square, leaving more than 1,000 people injured on June 28. The clashes began when families of victims who died in the uprising gathered to honor those who sacrificed their lives for the sake of their country.
I don't know all the details of what transpired last night. I know the Prime Minister announced earlier today that there'll be a thorough investigation of what happened. Obviously, what was central to the revolution that emerged out of Tahrir Square in January was the tremendous peaceful determination of Egyptians to realize their aspirations. And it's extremely important, it seems to us, but more importantly to Egyptians, to continue to pursue peacefully those kind of aspirations. And so we hope that the investigation that's been announced will be a fair and thorough one, and that the political transition that's underway can unfold in a peaceful way. I emphasized throughout those discussions American support for an open and inclusive political process in Egypt, the importance of following through on the commitment to lift the emergency law before the elections, the importance of protecting freedom of expression and freedom of assembly.
Mr. Burns said that the Egyptian government should improve their security services in order to gain public trust.
It's very important, I think, to the future of Egypt's democratic transition. It's also important when abuses have occurred, such as those at the Egyptian Museum last spring, that they're investigated thoroughly and that those who are responsible are held accountable. So I don't mean to suggest that this is a neat or easy process, but I think the reform of the security sector needs to continue to be a high priority.
Mr. Burns also discussed the importance of supporting the Egyptian economy and said that the United States is ready to help throughout the transitional period.
We're determined to do everything we can to help support Egypt's economic recovery, in part because we recognize the connection between creating economic hope and a successful democratic transition. And so that's why we've tried to look very practically at ideas like debt relief and what that can help produce, particularly for Egyptian youth, to give them a sense of hope, to create jobs, to equip students and young people with the kind of skills and education that they need to be able to compete.
Ikram Al Yacoub, العربية.